Yeah. So this is the first stanza that we are going to do today. Yeah. Anyone, if you are ready, Chitra ji, Jyotsna ji, I think Swapna may not be able to read today. Just go ahead, read the new lines.
A darkness carrying morning in its breast, looked for the eternal, wide returning gleam, waiting the advent of a larger ray and rescue of the lost herds of the sun.
Yeah, so these are beautiful lines again, and here Sri Aurobindo talks about the darkness that we have in our nether depths, all the challenges, all the overwhelm of emotions, the patterns that sway us here and there. We are not even aware that we are stuck in those patterns, and yet that's where we fall into darkness, and then we have to rise up again from there, finding a new light. So, this darkness is being referred to the darkness of the subconscious, the darkness of the unconscious, of the inconscious. All this darkness is carrying mourning in its breast. All of us who have gone through our challenges in life, we all know now, after going through them, that they were not as bad as they appeared to be. There was something hiding in them for us to know ourselves deeply, for us to maybe come closer to our inner presence, our inner being. So a darkness carrying morning in its breast, this darkness looked for the eternal wide returning gleam. So as if this darkness is waiting for this light, this gleam of eternal to rescue it. Because it is not darkness really, it is just a disguise that the divine has put just for the play of it, for the for the necessity of darkness. So once we are ready, then the darkness goes away and a newer light, a brighter wisdom in us appears. And then another darkness may come in our life because something more is to be cleared, and then we clear it, and then we are again rising up in more wisdom, more light. So this darkness looked for the eternal wide returning gleam. It keeps on returning, all the challenges that we go through in our life, light after light. We are just, it's like as Vedic rishis, saw this play of night and day. Yes, night comes, then the bright dawn comes, and then again the night comes, then again the dawn comes. So this returns, returning gleam. And this darkness is waiting the advent of a larger ray. So, some descent of light, some greater descent of light that is needed is this darkness is waiting for that greater descent, so that the darkness goes away and all that remains is light, wisdom, knowledge, true knowing. And here in the next last line there is this beautiful reference, and rescue of the lost herds of the sun. So this is coming from this Vedic myth Sri Aurobindo has described in The Secret of the Vedas also, where he talks about this myth of angirasas. These robbers of deep, these uh, which we talk about earlier also, that there are elements and beings which keep away the light from human consciousness, as if we are not able to touch that, we are not able to touch that light, we are not able to access that light, because all that light has been stolen away by the robbers, which are panis and dasyus in Vedic mythologies. So there is this story, as it goes, the Vedic myth, where the lost herds, referring to this lost herds of the sun, where a lot of rays of light, which we refer to as cows of sun, and I was just listening to commentary by Shraddhavan, and there she explains very beautifully that go means light, rays of light. So the word cow or gai or go in Sanskrit is actually meaning rays of light. And when we talk about herds of the sun, like cow herds of sun, they have been stolen away. So rays of light from sun have been stolen away. So when we refer to as cows, it means the rays of light has been stolen away by the panis and dasyus, who are these robbers who keep on stealing away the riches of the god. And they neither use it themselves and nor they let the human beings use it. So they stole these away, the rays of light, and then Angirasas were the rishis who wanted to get them for human beings, the rays. So with they kind of prayed to the goddess, and the goddess of illumination, the divine goddess, she sent out intuition, the power of intuition in the form of a dog. Earlier lines in Savitri, we read about questing hound. A dog, inspiration comes as a questing hound. It's the dog such has such a strong sniffing power that it knows where the knowledge and the light resides. So this is how it sniffs, or the inspiration sniffs out the wisdom and light and knowledge from our life through all the darkness. So these angirasas are given help of these saramas, these questing hounds or dogs, which sniff and sniff and sniff, and then they find out that this treasure, the rays of light or the cow herds, are hiding in a deep cave which is behind a dark, dark hill. And this dark hill refers to the rock of inconscience, this hard crust, thick crust of inconscience, ignorance that we have. So then, how to break that lid that is there, how to reveal the cave and get the cows out of the cave. So they again pray to the Lord Indra, god of mind, the god of light. And what he does is he comes down and he utters a very powerful mantra, and the mantra has such a strong power that it breaks that rock of inconscience, it breaks that rock of ignorance. And the moment it breaks, the cave is open, and that the all the cows are kind of rescued, the cows, the rays of light are rescued from the glitches of the panis and the sus, the robbers who robbed away these riches. So this is how the Vedic myth goes. And this is a reference here, that darkness is carrying morning in its breast. It is looking who will rescue, for the eternal wide returning gleam, and waiting the advent of this larger ray, when Indra breaks this through the mantra, and the light is revealed, and it's waiting, the darkness is waiting for the rescue of the lost herds of the sun. So that which was stolen away from the sun, the rays of the sun, the illumining rays of sun, they come back by this effort by the Vedic rishis. So I found this really so beautiful and powerful, and I also reflected upon that there must be some combination here or a reference here, when we talk about Sri Krishna and how he is always taking care of the cows, and now knowing that the cows means rays of light, rays of knowledge, rays of wisdom. So there must be, there also kind of a reference or a connection there, uh, in this sense of mythology, the mythological metaphorical aspect, that why is Sri Krishna always found with cows, taking care of the cows, the rays of light. Yeah. So this was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why uttering mantra is very important actually. Even though it looks mechanical for some time,
Mm.
but it has its own power. Yeah, mantra is very important in that sense, as you
Yeah.
explained.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Chitraji, that story, where this fellow who is very dumb,
yeah,
a story by Manoj Dasji, where
yeah,
there is this very dull fellow, a dumb fellow, and his father puts him into this Gurukul.
yeah,
And he says to the Guru that I know that my son is very dumb, but still, if he listens and hears things at the ashram, something or the other will go into his brain.
yeah. True.
Have I told you that story?
No, no, I
No,
don't
okay.
think.
So I'll just complete this story because I think it's just related to what you said. So this dull person, so-called dull person, he stays in the ashram. He listens very carefully to all the classes. And then one day he asks the guru that my father said that one day you will throw me a morsel of knowledge. So what about that morsel of knowledge to me? Can you throw it now? And then he says, okay, chant this mantra, aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman. So he does not know the meaning of this mantra. This dull boy, he does not know. The guru just asks him to have faith and, just to chant this mantra. And the boy is so sincere, although he's dull in brain, that the boy takes it to his heart and he keeps on chanting this mantra. I am the Brahman, or I am Brahmasmi, I am Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. And one day his father is asking him, what are you chanting? What do you know what it means? And he say, no, no, father, I don't know what it means. So the father tells him that it means I am Brahman. So the boy is so dull that he says that, okay, the father is saying the father is Brahman. So he keeps on contemplating in that manner, that father is Brahman, father is Brahman. That is what it signifies. Then he's chanting, and then he meets his uncle. Then the uncle asks him, do you know what it means? He says that, yes, it means that my father is Brahman. No, no, no. The uncle says, no, it does not mean that. He means I am Brahman. So he says, okay, uncle is Brahman. So like this, he goes ahead on and on. So he now knows father is Brahman, uncle is Brahman, and my mama is Brahman, my auntie is Brahman. He's contemplating like that, and he's sitting under the tree and reflecting upon the mantra. And suddenly he comes to the point that if all of them are Brahman, I am also Brahman. So it just tells us the power of just almost a placebo effect, that blind faith, that if you believe that something has power, no matter if it has inherent power or not, it will show its effects. As Chitraji was sharing, the power of reciting or having faith in anything that you feel is helping, whether it may not be helping the other person, but the faith with which you do that thing will reveal its magical effects in time. Yeah, just wanted to share that. So let's go ahead and keep sharing, whenever anything comes, just share. Yeah, who would like to read next?
In a splendid extravagance of the waste of God, dropped carelessly in creation's spendthrift work, left in the chantiers of the bottomless world, and stolen by the robbers of the deep, the golden shekels of the eternal lie, hoarded from touch and view and thought's desire, locked in blind antres of the ignorant fled, lest men should find them and be even as gods.
Yeah. So this continues, the light or the treasures, the gifts that have been stolen by these robbers of the deep. About that, that in a and how these gifts are lying scattered, as if, the image that Sri Aurobindo shares here is that in a splendid extravagance of the waste of God. So as if God is so lavish and rich, he's creating this beautiful work of creation, and in that he's so rich and kind of full of this treasures and gifts, that the treasures and gifts are just getting dropped carelessly here and there, and he doesn't even bother to take care or collect them back. So that is how these gifts, these light and wisdom and treasures, the powers that we have as human beings, the capacities that we have as a human being, they are just as if thrown around in this work of creation. That is the image Sri Aurobindo is creating here. And the God is so extravagant that he doesn't bother what all riches are getting dropped here and there, dropped carelessly in creation's spendthrift work. It's a work, the work of creation is a work which is done in such a lavish manner. Imagine that there is an artist or a king who is taking care of the kingdom, and the kingdom is flourishing with abundance. So when he walks, he just throws away coins all around. He doesn't bother much about those coins, because there is so much that he have, so he doesn't keep a count of that. Almost that kind of an image Sri Aurobindo creates here. I'm just kind of doing it with my own kind of imagination. And then he says that these gifts, these riches are dropped and left in the chantiers of the bottomless world. So imagine as if a building is being constructed, and all the pillars and all the digging has to be done. So all that construction site, this deep, dark, cold construction site, it has these carelessly dropped riches lying there in the darkness of this bottomless world. One is not even aware that they are there. They are so kind of in extravagance, spread around here and there and God knows where, and we have not even an idea that they are there and we can use them. Yeah. And these, why do we do not have an idea? Because they are stolen. They are stolen by the robbers of the deep. Whenever a darkness overwhelms us, uh, we forget that we also have wisdom. In the dark cloud of ignorance that overwhelms us, we forget all the wisdom that we have right there with us 24/7, which we are not able to use in that challenge. So that is the robbery that has happened in that moment. Shri Krishna, I remember this line in one of the poems, I think by Ramdhari Singh Dinkar, where he says that जब नाश मनुष्य पे छाता है पहले विवेक मर जाता है. So when a man undergoes a deep kind of a intensity, a challenge, a kind of a evil, kind of a darkness, the first thing that happens is that he loses his discernment, vivek. He loses his intelligence. It's not that the intelligence is not there. Intelligence is right there, but the tendency or the pattern of behavior is so heavy on me right now that I have no clue that I can use it. So this is how it gets stolen. The light of intelligence gets stolen. So these gifts are stolen by the robbers of the deep, referring to the Vedic Panis and Dasyus, who are robbers of the deep. They have robbed the golden shekels of the eternal lie. So they have stolen it and they have put it in this chantiers, the construction site of this bottomless world, where these golden shekels, these are golden coins. In shekels is a word from Hebrew language. Golden big coin. Whenever we used to go to any church in Europe, there they used to sell these coins, very golden or silver coins, on which there would be a cross of Jesus and something written in another language. So these coins, as if they are holy sacred treasures, the of the eternal, they are stolen by the robbers and they are left in the bottomless world. Hoarded, they are hoarding it. Yes, Luba, you want to say something?
I want to hello to everyone. I'm new here, but this word shekels is actually, if we know the story of the Jesus, the Judas, he betrayed that shekels. It's a money of Israel. So and they use it for and Judas who betrayed Jesus, he got the shekels. So that is also why he used not any other money but the shekels, because it is referring to the idea what happened between Judas and Jesus, who he betrayed for 33 shekels actually, and then he remorsed very much about that. But the thing is why he used that, I think we also it's referring to that lie what he said, and that eternal lie he is using also, that also sending us to that idea what happened, that I think so. That's
Beautiful,
what,
beautiful. Yeah.
that's what is suggested, that shekels, not other, no drachm, no other things, because so many varieties of monies we have, what we call it, but shekels is particular to that story, which is
Beautiful.
referring to that.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Luba. Yeah. Beautiful. Yes. So they are hoarded now. These robbers have hoarded them. When they are hoarding it, they are not using it themselves. It's not that they are using those powers themselves. They are just hoarding it. They are not using it. Hoarded from touch and view and thoughts desire. So we cannot even think about those gifts or the powers that we have the capacity to have as a human being, as if there is a blind curtain in front of our thought, and we are just not able to access those light and riches, the golden shekels, as Luba referred to. Yeah. Logged in blind antres of the ignorant flood. This refers to this. Antres is dark cave, logged, as if logged. These riches are logged in blind caves of ignorant flood, referring to this flood of inconscience, the unconscious, subconscious tendencies, patterns of behavior, the patterns of living, the patterns of thought and thinking, which always hide away these treasures from us. In moments we may be available to them, but then they again get hidden away and we are not able to access them, as if a big wall comes in flood in front of us, this ignorant flood, as if they are that this cave that Sri Aurobindo refers to, it is a cave which is lying even below the flood. So as if there is an underwater, undersea cave in which these riches are there. They are so far away. And why are they hiding them from men? Lest men should find them and be even as gods. Because they know it very, very well that if men are able to find them and live with those powers, then they will become God. Which is Sri Aurobindo's and Mother's vision and the purpose of human existence, which also will be revealed in the further lines, to go towards life divine, a life lived for the God and revealing the God in as much detail as possible through form. Yeah. So this is their fear, that if men find it, then it is impossible that they do not turn divine, and that's why they keep on hiding it. And if any chance is there, these robbers are always on a lookout, that if they get any chance, any opening, any lack of vigilance in our day-to-day behavior, and again a darkness comes and all the wisdom, all the intelligence is taken away in that moment. So, and that's why mother stresses so much on vigilance and sincerity, that be very sincere of where you tripped down or fell down today, where you gave into your tendencies, because these are the weak points where the robbers rob us away of the intelligence of the being. Yeah. Anything from here? Okay, so let's go ahead then. Yeah, anyone who wants to read?
A vision lightened on the viewless heights, sorry. A wisdom illumined from the voiceless depths. A deeper interpretation, greatened truth. A grand reversal of the night and day. All the world's values changed, heightening life's aim. A wiser world, a larger thought came in. Then what what the slow labor of human mind can bring, a secret sense awoke that could perceive a presence and a greatness everywhere.
Yeah. So this again, Ashwapati's experience, Sri Aurobindo's own experiences. Now, what happens through this inspiration, when inspiration makes Ashwapati's being its home, its very home, a vision lightened on the viewless heights. So he's able to see all those summits, peaks of consciousness, which were obscured from a human ordinary level of consciousness. A vision lightened on the viewless heights, a wisdom illumined from the voiceless depths, and not even on the summits, even in the neither depths of subconscient, inconscient, he is able to go beyond the darkness, the veil of the darkness, as we studied in the lines before, that not only from above, even below, everything was lit. Each darkness, each cave was lit open, and wisdom got illumined, as if all those places which were so far appearing like a deep dark cave with no light penetrating there, owing to the uh, changes in consciousness of Ashupati, even the darkness reveals a beautiful light. Even the neither depths of inconscient, they reveal a wisdom and a light. And this happens with us, I believe, if I can relate it to our personal challenges. Whenever we are in our depths of challenges and we are able to go through the challenges in faith, we clearly are able to see the light that was hiding beyond those challenges. The challenges may have given us pain, suffering a bit. It may not have been very beautiful, a bit of ugliness, yes, definitely. But when we come out from these challenges, we see that we are a changed human being. Yes, there is a lot of work to be done, but yet you are not the same as you were before the challenge. So some wisdom comes, some illumination comes through that voiceless depth, the darkness of the inconscient. And this is how we grow in our consciousness. We expand in our consciousness through our challenges and through our pain and all these relationship, things and attachments and sufferings. And now what happens? A deeper interpretation, greatened truth. Again, something which all of us can relate to, that whenever we have grown through our experiences, dark, painful experiences, we see that things are not as they appear to be. Pain appears so painful, and yet it is painful, and it also hides something very beautiful. So, a deeper interpretation. Now, he is able to see beyond the face values of the worldly manifestation. He is able to see beyond the duality of pleasure and pain and night and day. The second line, a grand reversal of the night and day. Human being, usually on an ordinary consciousness, we find ourselves running towards pleasure and running away from pain. That is our life. Kabir ji has referred to this in many, many couplets also, that we keep on as if grinding ourselves between this run, where we keep on running towards pleasure and we are never able to find an everlasting pleasure. It always comes and goes away. And then whenever pain is there, we try to run away from that pain. What if we stop running away from pain? What if we know pain very, very deeply? What can happen then? Because pain is just a disguise. And then we realize that I don't need to run away from pain. I can be with pain, go through pain, because even the pain is trying to show me something new which I have not the knowledge of so far. Yeah. And as Rumi says, a wound is a place from where light enters your being. So all our wounds, attachments, and all the challenges, those are the places which open up our hearts a little bit more and a little bit more, and we are able to know ourselves deeply and know also the other persons of other human beings deeply. They kind of connect each other in more union. So this is what happens with Ashupati. He undergoes a reversal of consciousness, as if now he has stopped just to look at the face values. He is able to see the deeper meaning of existence, why things are as they are, what is the necessity of going through all those experiences. All the world's values changed, heightening life's aim. If you recall your story, all of us recall our stories of treading the spiritual path, we will see that in the beginning, it's not for the divine that we entered the spiritual path. It's just we wanted a breath of fresh air. We wanted a relief. We wanted answers. We were looking for answers through our challenges. That's how we enter mostly, you know. And then we see, oh my God, there is a different world altogether. Almost we get to know the purpose of human existence. Although when we started on the path, we were not interested in knowing what is my purpose. Not really. I was just wanting a relief from the pain that I was having. But then we see, oh my God, there is a whole different world that lies here, which I've not been able to see so far. So the world's values changed, and life's aim, as if you get an aim to your life, a meaningful existence to your human existence. Earlier you were just like a cork being tossed by the waves of sea here and there, floating with no free will, no power of your own. But once you tread more on this path, we see in expanding consciousness that this is the very purpose of human existence. Conversion of darkness to light, looking at my tendencies, patterns of behaviors, and transmuting them towards more and more divinity and light. This is the very purpose of human existence. So why is the need to run away from them? So this is how his values changed, heightening life's aim. Now he gets a purpose to the human existence. He has a purpose. A wiser word, a larger thought came in. Everything shows its true value, its deeper essence. The thought widened its perspectives than what the slow labor of human mind can bring. Usually the labor of human mind through thought, we try to understand everything through thought. Yeah, and thought is always limited, and that is why we are not able to understand much or get a widened perspective. And now, with the changes of consciousness that Ashwapati is going through, he got a direct knowing into a deeper essence of things, direct perception into the uh, beyond the face value of things, which the human mind's labor cannot do, because that will always be limited. But this domain is a limitless domain that he has entered, the domain of his inner being in connection with the spiritual reality. Yeah, this domain is a new domain, and it's all encompassing. It's not exclusive of anything. Now he's able to understand the life of a human being. A secret sense awoke that could perceive a presence and a greatness everywhere. Now, these are only mere words for those of us who, who would say that I don't feel this in my life. And Sri Aurobindo and Mother themselves, they say that the more and more you grow through life experiences, Savitri becomes alive for you. So first you have the experience, and then you go through these lines, mantric lines, and then you see, oh my God, this is true. This is true. So this is how words of light and illumination, which may be just mere words in theory in our head earlier, but when we are able to go through deeper in our experiences and challenges of life, only then we know that yes, this is true. So this inner being awoke in him, the inner being, the inner soul, it awoke its presence in Ashwapati, and now only he could see a presence and a greatness everywhere. It was not more any mechanical running of a life. Everything got its meaning. you know. Now life had a beauty. Earlier, in the first canto, we were reading that as if earth is just running in mechanical rounds and rounds and rounds. And now it is shown to him that it's not mechanical rounds. There is a purpose to its existence. What is the purpose? That will be revealed in the coming lines. Yeah. So anything from these lines? Any reflection?
Yes, Monica, this line itself is a mantric line. A secret sense awoke that could perceive a presence and a greatness everywhere. Yes, true, very true. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Mm.
So I'll just color the lines. Yes, who wants to go next?
Yeah, the universe was not now the senseless world, born round inert on an immense machine. It cast away its grandiose, lifeless front, a mechanism no more or work of chance, but a living movement of the body of God.
Yeah. So now, he got to know that no, this is not just a machine kind of running in circles and circles, and every day coming after night and night coming after day. It's not just like this mechanics or routine stuff, a senseless, purposeless life going on. The universe was not now this senseless world. And how could I know this is not a senseless world? If I have gone deeply into my challenges and have learned my experiences and my learnings through those challenges, have found a deeper light hidden in those challenges, then everything will appear to have a meaning in my life. But not before that, not before that, because we have to have our own individual experiences. Only then we get a strong conviction that this is true. Yeah. So, and that's why the importance of human experiences, that through my experiences, especially the challenging one, the painful ones, now I know that it's not just a blind chance or just a kind of a mechanical habit that is on its own going on. There is a purpose why that particular experience came to me, because this and this lessons, these were to be learned. Once we learn our lessons, then we will be sure that there is a meaning to every curve and line, as Sri Aurobindo says. The universe was not now this senseless world, born round inert on an immense machine. It cast away its grandiose, lifeless front, as if a mask is being taken off from that universe, the mask of mechanics and routine. And the beauty hiding behind that mask comes forward. It cast away its grandiose, lifeless front, a mechanism no more or work of chance. It appears that that event that may happen in my life, it just happened of a chance. But once I go through that experience deeply and learn my lessons through that experience, I will see that no, it was not a chance. I called that experience in my life because I wanted to have these and these learnings and grow through those learnings. There is no end to human learnings. We can just grow and grow and grow towards divinity, towards perfection. And that is why they say that the divine is infinite. You can never reach the divine, you can never touch the divine. You can just grow in degrees towards the divine, shedding layers and layers of ignorance once you know them through your own challenges. So this is how he got to know that mechanism no more a work of chance. It may appear as a random chance, that how that event may happen in my life, or how that person I lost from my life, or how that person came to my life, or how a kid came to my life, or all the little events of life. It all may appear as a chance, but it is not blind chance. It is an infinite intelligence working towards a higher purpose. And then he gets to know it's a living movement of the body of God. There is a direction to all that's random chance and movements of destiny. There is a direction there. You are being guided at each moment of time. We are being guided, but we are not aware that we are being guided. And those of us who become aware that yes, I have to bow down my head because I know that I am guided, and hence the challenge has come for something good only. This is what mother calls it as collaboration with the divine. That you grow through every human experience, doesn't matter how painful. And mother at one point of time also says that the sadhak does not complain of his troubles. He just goes through those troubles with a lot of faith. Yeah. So this anything from these lines?
And yes, Monica, because if you are in the path and really if you once open to Mother and Shell with those force, if you meet any challenge, if you don't learn the lesson from that challenge, it will repeat itself in, I mean, again and again in different circumstances through different people till you learn the lesson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, once you learn the lesson, you won't take it as, take it as a very big difficulty, but you will move on, no? Yeah.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
This is my experience.
Yeah. It keeps on
Actually.
coming back again and again if the
Yeah.
lesson is not fully learned. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Who wants to go next? These lines in yellow.
A spirit hid in forces and in forms was the spectator of the mobile scene. The beauty and the ceaseless miracle let in a glow of the unmanifest. The formless everlasting moved in it, seeking its own perfect form in souls and things. Life kept no more a dull and meaningless shape.
Yeah. So this, he gets to know that, oh my God, this is a very intelligent movement that is happening through all the events of life. A spirit hid in forces and in forms, which we were not aware of earlier. Now he gets aware that yes, it is that spirit that hides in the forces, in all the forms, and was the spectator of the mobile scene. The eternal Purusha watching the play of eternal Prakriti, the witnessing aspect, and on the basis of which all the play happens. This Purusha was the spectator of the mobile scene. The beauty and the ceaseless miracle, unending miracle, let in a glow of the unmanifest. So, as if he gets a glimpse of even the unmanifest through these revelations that are happening to him. So yes, he is getting to know about the manifestation, and what hides behind the manifestation also gets revealed to him. Let the beauty and the ceaseless miracle let in a glow of the unmanifest, as if he sees the spirit shine through. The glow is visible to Ashupati. The formless everlasting moved in it, seeking its own perfect form in souls and things. Life kept no more a dull and meaningless shape. So, this is the purpose in this line. Sri Aurobindo almost reveals the purpose of human existence. The formless everlasting moved in it, seeking its own perfect form in souls and things. This is what the human evolution is towards. What Sri Aurobindo has referred to, the life divine or supramental race, when even the matter that we have, the body matter, that will be able to shine out, shine forth the light of the divine, which now it obscures. It does not obscures completely, but yes, it obscures to a very, very large extent the light of the divine, the light of the spirit. So this is the purpose as revealed by Sri Aurobindo, that the eternal, the unmanifest, the everlasting, as if it's trying to find a perfect form in souls and things. And it is just trying, like it hit and trial. And that is why we are, we have to go through all this, almost like a labor pain. The earth has to go through a labor pain of new birth every time, because the birth is not happening. So one has to continue being in this pain. And that is why pain and suffering become a necessity for new birth. And that's why mother says that bear pain very happily, if not with a smile, not with a complaint also, because pain is what will be able to chisel you to, so that you can shine forth the divine within. That's our task as a human being, to grow forward to increasing manifestation of divinity. No matter how much darkness I have at the moment, at the present, that is my task, to transform each darkness to luminosity, to transform each challenge into something more beautiful, something more wise and intelligent. This is the purpose of human existence and human evolution over centuries and eons of human existence, seeking its own perfect form in soul and things. Now, Life kept no more a dull and meaningless shape. Now everything got a meaning. All my movements, all my thoughts, desires, ambitions, everything has a meaning. Now I know why the desires were important, and now I also see that how desires also become a bar moving on in this Godward journey. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Anything from these lines? Okay. So let us take up these last few lines. In the struggle and upheaval of the world, he saw the labor of a Godhead's birth, a secret knowledge masked as ignorance, fate covered with an unseen necessity, the game of chance of an omnipotent will. This is what he sees, the pains, the labor pains of the world, pain and suffering. No human being has escaped it. There must be a purpose to that. As if the whole globe is undergoing a tremendous amount of labor pain, especially at the moment, and has been doing, owing, coming from centuries. We have undergone such intensities of pain, the world wars, the all the German movement, the Spanish flu, the epidemics, all the wars, the bombing on Hiroshima, Nagasaki, all we have gone through so much as a collective consciousness. Is it all just purposeless, meaningless? Or is there a purpose to all that pain and suffering? So, in this struggle and upheaval of the world, he saw the labor of a Godhead's birth. He saw that, yes, there is to be born Godhead through every human being, and till then, pain will remain. If we do not allow the Godhead within to shine forth, I will have to go through pain again and again through my life. As Chitraji was sharing, that if we do not learn our lessons, and our lessons, it's not that somebody is giving me punishment, a lesson is not like that. It's that I am away from my highest possibility. I have a possibility of being a Godhead, of being divine. And what I am doing right now is almost appears so stupid in front of that possibility. So that is the thing, that things come back to us in spirals. All the experiences, if we have not learned our lessons fully, if we have not turned to the divine fully, then those experiences come again and again and again, and they just tell me that, oh, my thoughts and feelings are still turned to something else, my desires are still turned to something else but the divine. So we have to, actually, we have no other way, I believe. The only way to is to live as the servants of the divine. But we keep on forgetting, owing to the ignorance. Again and again we forget. Again and again we give to attachments and desires and ambitions and greed and lust and all that. And hence the lessons come back to us again and again. So this is what he saw being taking birth, that all the struggle, all the challenges in life are necessary so that the Godhead in me is born. If I do not cease to depend on other people for my happiness and satisfaction, if I do not stop banging my head on all the walls around, then how would I know that I am capable enough? So it's good that the people reject me. It's good that I get rejections and kicks from all over the place, because only then, even not very happily, but only then I come back home, and if I'm lucky, I realize that all the power, all the happiness, contentment, and the strength to go on is lying within me. I just have to wake it up. Yeah. So he saw this labor of a Godhead's birth, a secret knowledge masked as ignorance. So as long as I'm not ready to yet take it up, it remains as ignorance. And the moment I say I am ready now, the veil of ignorance is cast off. and a new knowledge, a new wisdom is appears from that very challenge or darkness. So a secret knowledge masked as ignorance, fate covered with an unseen necessity. We think, we talk about it, why did that happen to me, as if it was fated. But then I see, if I actually look at the larger picture and what it gave me, all the learnings, all, how it made me a better human being. At least if I look at all the larger picture, then I see that yes, it was not just blind fate, it had a necessity to it. It was very, very necessary for me to go through that experience, so that the ego gets more shattered, more broken, and I give myself, offer myself more fully to the divine. So fate is covered with an unseen necessity, and the game of chance an omnipotent will. And what appears as chance events in life, they are not really chance events. They also are design of a higher intelligence. They are design of a divine will, which is taking my life forward. So we can be actually very happy about it. We can be very content about it, that yes, I don't know, but there is a higher power that is driving my life. So I don't have to worry that much or be anxious about my life that much, because if that divine power is in work even when I am not aware of it, then I don't need to bother. I just have to collaborate. One can relax oneself, that one will be guided forever. Yeah, we are not abandoned or lost children of the divine. The divine, we are actually playing in the divine lap every moment. The only thing is we are not aware of it. The moment I become aware of it, it relaxes me, and I take it easy. The life is easy, then it's not a burden. Yeah. So I think, I would like to stop here. If there are any reflections, we can take up those. Yeah, please share if there is anything.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Really, the last one you explained, no, really brought tears in my eyes. Really, with lot of gratitude, I'm telling. Yeah,
Thank you
really,
so much, Chitraji. Thank you.
it's
Thanks to
really
you
touching.
too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I want to read about those about mantras. No, there are a lot of lines in Savitri itself. I will read those lines. Page number 375. Actually, I will read those lines. As when the mantra sings in yoga's ear, its message enters, stirring the blind brain, and keeps in the dim, ignorant cells its sound. The hearer understands a form of words, and musing on the index thought it holds, he strives to read it with the laboring mind, but finds bright hints, not the embodied truth. Then, falling silent in himself to know, he meets the deeper listening of his soul. The word repeats itself in rhythmic strains. Thought, vision, feeling, sense, the body's self are seized unutterably, and he endures an ecstasy and an immortal change. He feels a wideness and becomes a power. All knowledge rushes on him like a sea, transmuted by the white spiritual ray. He walks in naked heavens of joy and calm, sees the God face and hears transcendent speech. An equal greatness in her life was sown. Yeah, these are the
Yeah,
lines about
beautiful.
mantra. Yeah,
Thank you
it's
so much.
beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes, anyone
Thank,
else?
thank you very much. I like it, and it's always beautiful to have a. As mother said, it's very beautiful to spend in atmosphere of Savitri. It's always useful. Even some people complain that they don't understand Savitri. Its mother said, time spent in the atmosphere of Savitri is never the waste, even for those who doesn't understand. And this lines about mantra, how it is working, and that when we are trying to even understand with our laboring mind, it's only bringing me hints, but not embodied truth. So mantra has its own way how it's working on us in our consciousness. So very beautiful to remember this. It's very
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, for all of us know how lines of Savitri, they are mantric in their power. So, and how they are entering, even though we sometimes don't understand what we read, but it has its own ways and means how to enter our consciousness. And if we are open enough or have aspiration, it's always will reveal itself some way or the other for us.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Luba, for sharing. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes, Swapna.
Yes, for me also, I'm grateful to what the others have just shared, and for this time, because I too was reminded that it was a rather stressful, painful morning, and caught up in a lot of things, and to be reminded that the wisdom is already there. That part was really good, and then it helped me access that, because it was true. It was just like Savitri was saying, that in that moment it felt like I was completely cut off, and then in the session I feel once again much more connected. So very grateful, and yeah, the divine and the mother for this work, and for you for giving the session, and to everyone being here.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Swapna. Yes. It's like, we are so drenched in ignorance, and that is the play of the divine. It's not our fault. We don't have to take it as our fault, or go into shame and guilt. We are so drenched in ignorance that we have to keep on dipping, as Chitra ji and Luba was sharing. We have to keep on dipping ourselves continuously in these words of illumination. Only that is our hope. And I think not only our hope, but also our highest possibility. We deserve this beauty, and we deserve to live a life of growing beauty, and not all the time drenched in ignorance. Yes, ignorance has its own play and part to play, but once we are immersing ourselves, as Luba was sharing, no matter if we understand it or not understand it through mind, because these words are not coming from the level of mind, they are just coming from those levels which we are not even aware of. So they do something to us, as both of you beautifully shared, that they do something to us. We are not even aware, and they do their task. So that is our possibility. And it's not that we are not drenching ourselves wet in some. We are always thinking, we are always thinking about something or the other, and what we are thinking creates our life. Yeah. So it's beautiful to spend few hours or of contemplation of these words, reflection, because as if a sponge kept in dirty water gets dirty, and a sponge kept in clean water from holy rivers, it gets pure. Slowly the whole dirt washes away from that sponge. So our minds are like sponges. If we really want to work on our own inner life and make our life beautiful, we have to keep on dipping this sponge into beautiful waters, purer waters, because there is no end to dirt, that we know. There is no end to dirt. The only thing that I can do is that I keep on dipping myself as much as possible in purer waters, so that when a challenge comes, I am able to take it nicely, much nicely than I was able to take it before. Although I may fall again, trip again, but then mother says, dust off your pants, do not spend much time in blame and shame, just dust off your pants and move on, take the lesson and move on. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, thank you for joining in today. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Monica.
you,
Thank
Monica.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.